Hello. Today, in a paper of children's literature, we will discuss how and why most stories for children start and end. One of the most pleasant memories of childhood is listening to stories or reading them. Stories for children create a wonderland and also develop room of one's own for children. We all fondly remember lines like once upon a time or they lived happily ever after. Children's stories have eternity. They are timeless and unrestricted to a place. Also the fact that adults, when they pen stories for children, rewind the time machine and take a dip in past, give new dimension to time, not in the present immediate, but once upon a time. Stock phrases like once upon a time and they lived happily ever after are tools to establish similarities between stories so that the child can swiftly glide from one story to another and accept both. Children remember things quickly if some phrases are commonly used in all stories. Using such phrases immediately sets the context of the unknown, willing suspension of disbelief from the start. Children's stories have strong elements of fantasy and fear. Some believe that children should be acquainted with possible challenges and dangers through the medium of stories. One may also question the rationale of exposing children to stories of danger and violence. Possible answer can be that from the top of the tower, these elements look innocent. The very fact what unfolds in the story took place once upon a time, and thus the result is already known, and they lived happily ever after. What occurs in between then is tolerable. In a way then, we deal with cathartic elements while maintaining the safety of present. The child who is going to sleep for a night looks forward to a story because in the dreams also the causality is vague and uncertain. Deep in the heart, the child knows what the end is going to be, and this helps as a lighthouse. Both the stock phrases are like guarding fairies and angels that whisper in your ears, "This is okay, you can sail through." Also, maybe as the adult is trying to develop childlike memory while writing the story, it becomes pertinent to go back in past. But what was the last time that one was childlike? The time frame now is not certain, and thus instead of saying it happened in so-and-so year, it makes sense to say it happened long time ago. Also, most of the stories of children develop some archetypal theme and exactly mentioning the time frame when action took place may take away the universality. Literature should not be temporal, but universal. Psychic function of stories and dreams is to encounter fear of the unknown. The known is here and now, and thus can be dealt with or avoided, but preparing for the unknown is must. Uncertainty of children's stories helps one deal with psychological demons. With modern generation, when families are smaller and both parents are working, children might not have the luxury of listening to such stories, and this may make the child vulnerable in future when the person would have to deal with possible challenges in future. These stock phrases also act as disclaimer. They are the gatekeepers that tell you about the distant action and thus at once make you at ease. What you are going to hear or read took place long, long time ago, and thus believing becomes easier even if action looks improbable. Children, by cognition, are more inquisitive and tend to ask a lot of questions. They will mentally compare present with past, and for them to help travel in the world of improbable, telling them that it all took place long, long time ago helps. Ben Shahar, an expert in psychology, had coined a term called arrival policy. He said, I quote, arrival policy is the situation that once we make it, once we attain our goal or reach our destination, we will reach lasting happiness, unquote. He believed that our yearning to achieve everlasting happiness is an illusion because once we achieve something we had set for, we again might start craving for something else or more, and thus there can't be everlasting happiness. Psychologists believe that affective forecasting is when we believe we would be super happy if we get this or that. However, we always overestimate our would-be happiness in this process. We anticipate so much of everlasting bliss that when we do find moments to be happy, we don't find happiness. However, psychologists believe that if attainment of goal may not give happiness, at least setting a goal may motivate us. Thus, the promise of everlasting happiness can be goal setting for children. So folks, fasten your seat belts with Once Upon a Time and let the ride to the unknown begin.